so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you.
Hello, hello, hello. It's Thoughts for Rent, Realtors Keeping It Real with Max Zerflu. And this is
Jenni McKenna.
Jenni McKenna, my wife, my love, my partner, my compatriot. And we're here on Thoughts for Rent, Realtors Keeping It Real, our podcast. Happy you joined us. Happy to have you here to talk about today real estate.
Wow, my favorite subject.
Realtors Keeping It Real should talk about real estate every once in a while. Now, you've been in real estate for
33 years.
I didn't know if you wanted me to say, so people would know how old you are, or get
Oh,
close
no,
to
no.
knowing how
Look,
old you are.
they can see
Stop
the
it.
wrinkles. They know.
You've been in it for over 30 years. You were in residential real estate for a number of years before you ventured into property management.
Correct.
I had a career in stage production. I was a stage manager on the road and also on the Las Vegas Strip. People think that's cool when you say it like that.
I think it was cool, and I was living with you.
Anyway, I did that for the first 17, 18 years of my professional career, and then I became a realtor as well. And now I have been in residential real estate for, do you know how long?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to say, has it been 25 years?
20 years.
20 years.
20
Wow.
years ago. So I've seen an awful lot. I haven't seen as much as you, and I haven't seen as much as your father.
Correct.
Because that cat, not only is he old, but he's been doing this for a long time, over 40 years. Probably more.
Wasn't it fun going out on
78.
the boat with him on Tuesday and hearing some stories?
Yes. Yeah.
was
He's
really
a funny cat, but he's seen it all.
He
And
has.
I like to say when I talk to people about real estate, you can't throw a curveball by us because we have seen it. Someone in our group has seen something.
I think that's true.
So I thought today we'd talk about things we've seen, things that maybe people don't really know about real estate or don't see it happening. I mean, I look at real estate and there's a lot that happens behind the curtain.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm buying a house, I might not know how much my realtor is doing for me and how much headache, stress, sweating, hair falling out, not getting sleep, how all that is happening.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I should take a video and send it to your clients
Yeah.
when you're not sleeping.
We know it because we live it, but I'm not sure everybody does.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe we'd kind of touch on that a little bit. But first, I thought we'd talk about maybe some of the interesting things that we've seen happen to us
Ooh.
in our careers. And now this one doesn't happen very often, but it did happen to me once where the buyer of the contract passed away during the escrow period.
Were you representing the buyer?
I was representing the seller, and I got a call from the buyer's agent. They said, "Hey, got some unfortunate news." And when you hear that as a realtor, you think, oh, they're going to cancel. You know, they didn't like something or something
Or they
came
want
up.
you to
And,
replace the stove?
and her unfortunate news was my client has passed away.
Gosh, that's crazy.
So that was a curveball. We handled it. You know, usually that means that the contract is null and void, at least from the side of the buyer.
Mhm.
If a seller passes away, their estate still is responsible for that contract. So
Correct.
it's a little different scenario. But anyway, that's something that was pretty rare that I encountered. What's something that you've encountered that just, you went,
Well, I'm going to tell a story that's kind of a dad and I story. So as everybody knows, I started my real estate career with my father, Tim McKenna. And I was pretty, what they say, wet behind the ears
Yeah.
when you're new.
Mhm.
I was very new. I was only 24. And we went on to one of our first listing appointments. And it was in the same neighborhood that my dad lives in. So nice neighborhood. He
Beautiful.
knew the builder, knew the floor plan, knew everything about the neighborhood. The woman answers the door and she sees me and then she sees my dad. And all of a sudden, my dad being as smart as a tack, he goes, "Hello, I'm Tim McKenna, and this is my partner daughter, Jenni McKenna,
Mhm.
and we're here to talk to you about listing the property." And come to find out, she was selling the property because her husband had decided to run off with a 24-year-old
Ooh.
and evidently looked a lot like me. And it was very uncomfortable when the door opened, and I will never forget that look that I got. So not as dramatic as your buyer dying, but definitely a respect that you don't know the circumstances of why people are listing a
If
property.
I recall, when you were first working with your father, so that wasn't the only person who thought maybe you guys weren't father-daughter.
It happened a lot.
You guys started to make that clear from the punch. I think you had it on your business cards. Eventually, like,
We
so everybody
did.
knew.
And you know what's funny, Max, is I never even thought that needed to be talked about immediately. So it goes to the fact that you need to make sure that you are answering questions before the question is actually, asked. So we had it on our business cards. We always addressed it immediately.
Cool.
This is my partner daughter. He used to say, a couple of years into it, he used to say this at the dining room table. He would say, I'm the brains and she's the legs. And I've always thought that was kind of weird. And then he would follow it up with, she's got all the energy. She's going to market the property. She's going to make sure that everything gets done and followed up on. But I'm the reason you hire us.
Well, I always thought you had great legs too, so makes sense.
Well, thank you.
We work with buyers, obviously, and I've had some situations with buyers that are a little, kind of makes you a little uncomfortable.
Like what?
Well, one time I went to a house with this couple, and they were looking for a home, and we had finished looking at the home. We were locking it up. It was a vacant home, so that was good because the husband, as we were about to leave, said, "Oh, hang on, I've got to go to the bathroom."
As you do sometimes.
Well, as you do. But the wife and I figured, okay, number one here will be, he'll take a minute or two and then we'll be out the door. But about 20 minutes later, the wife and I were just kind of looking at each other and kind of nothing else to talk about. We ran out of topics because he was in there talking to a guy about a horse. And it took way too long.
Was there toilet paper in there?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't go look. I also had some buyers, a family. We were out looking at homes. And the mother, father, and myself were in the kitchen. We're talking about the house, and the two sons were out in the backyard kind of checking it out. No pool, so it was safe. And we looked out the kitchen window, and one of the sons had dropped his pants to his ankles and was going bathroom on a tree trunk. You're laughing, but not the kind of bathroom you're thinking about. I don't want to tell you that there's a different theme to this broadcast, but he was going poop on a tree. And
you probably had nothing to clean it up with because you weren't expecting
I think
that.
it was some leaves and just kind of just brushed over it.
Oh, no.
So those kind of situations happen. I had a client, we were out looking at homes, and he was in the military, and he was, he had a gun on him because he always had a gun on him. And we were looking at a house, and I didn't think anything was going on, but he looked into the attic compartment. And the next thing I know, he's pulled his gun out and it's pointing at the hole of the attic access.
Goodness.
I know you're in there. Come on out. There was nobody in there.
Oh, thank goodness.
But I was like, okay, well, I guess we're doing this. And one time, and I don't want to, monopolize the thing, but a friend of mine and I were looking at homes for him to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And this was back when a lot of homes were in foreclosure and they had been taken back by the bank. So you never knew what you were going to come upon.
We did have some squatter problems at that time.
We got upstairs. It was a vacant house. We got upstairs. It smelled like cigarette smoke. And we opened the primary closet door. And there was an ashtray with some cigarettes on the shelf. Mm-hmm. And there was a bunch of blankets on the ground. And then the blankets, we saw them moving up and down.
No, you did not.
So this looked like somebody was taking a nap there in the master closet, primary closet. And so we hightailed out of there. We said, we didn't say anything. We just kind of said, well, he didn't really like the house anyway, so it didn't matter to us. And we went on our way. We told the listing agent, hey, you might want to send somebody out because someone's taking a nap.
Look. Yeah, somebody's utilizing that as a...
Yeah, the bank owned, when the bank owned in 2009, 10, 11, you found some pretty interesting situations.
Yeah. Well, we had one that the bank was taking the property back. Owners were not too happy about the property going back to the bank and decided on their way out that they were going to take a baseball bat to the toilet, upstairs toilet.
Ooh.
And Dad and I had the account with the bank. So as soon as the property was vacant, we were going to go in and do what we do and list the property. So we knew they were there one day. We were told they were going to be out the next day. We then go over the following day. I raised the garage door and water comes gushing out the front door. Like,
Ooh.
I saw water coming underneath the garage, so I knew something was going on. But then when I raised that garage door, it was rough, and that destroyed the entire property. That was a bad situation. That was probably the worst I've ever seen as far as like vandalism and destruction.
Yeah. I mean, note to self, if you see water gushing out of your neighbor's house, you should probably knock on the door and say, hey, just noticed you guys, because usually when water's coming out of your garage, you've got a problem.
Yeah, the neighbor did come out and said that it had started the night before, and they didn't know who to call.
Now, even in property management, you have some situations that are interesting too. What's that one house where the tenant drove the car into the house or something? Or
that's right, I forgot about that one.
He drove.
So he was an Uber driver, and he decided that
was he distraught a little bit or something?
He was distraught because other things were going on in his life. And he did say, he wasn't of a clear mind. Clear mind might be drugs, could be emotion, not sure, but not clear mind. And he thought he was in reverse, but instead he was in drive and punched it straight through the house. Mm-hmm. And there was a bathroom on the other side, so it went through the tile. It was ugly.
If I remember, I went there with you.
It pushed everything.
Pushed the foundation back a little bit. Not the foundation, but
we got so lucky that however the car went through, it did not hit any water pipes.
Yeah.
So yes, we did.
Is lucky.
There was structural damage as far as the walls and the tile and the shower, but we did not have any water that was going everywhere. He ended up having to go to the hospital because of the damage of hitting his head and all that kind of jazz. Needless to say, he didn't pay that month's rent. And so he was in eviction. And so we got the property back and we had to fix it all up. And there you go.
I guess you could say it was all washed up, but I guess water wasn't involved. But we do know water can damage a lot of stuff, man.
Water's the worst. So if anyone is out there listening and you've got a rental property, be proactive on anything that is water intrusion. Just be proactive. Make sure your caulking is good. Make sure the grouts are all good between the tile. My favorite thing that I see whenever I take on a new account is when I go into the guest bathrooms or the bathrooms, and I see that it is a singular enclosure. It might look like ceramic tile, but there is no grouting. It's all just one closure. Love that. Because then you don't have any water intrusion that would be going through those grouts that they used to do with the ceramic tile bathroom surrounds.
Yeah, and that brings to mind a little bit about home, the state of a home, and what shape it's in. In residential real estate, we come up against this a lot, and lately we've been seeing it be kind of I wouldn't call it a pandemic, but it's a big problem. Is that the home gets an inspection done, and then the inspector notes 1,900 things that are wrong with the property. As a seller, you put your home on the market and you think, my house is in pretty good shape. Yeah, I've lived here for a while, a couple nicks here, a couple this. And then you get the inspection report from the buyer. And you go, oh my gosh, this is my house? Are you sure this is my house?
It doesn't feel like it would be your house.
And along with it comes the repair request.
Yeah.
The repair request. And what buyers do, if they're not educated, is they take everything that the inspector mentioned and they just put it all on the report. Say, here, I want all of this fixed. Buyers tend to forget that they're not buying new homes when they're buying resales.
Correct.
And I've heard sellers say, they're not buying a new home. Do they know this? I've heard it all the time. So I'm seeing inspection reports and repair requests starting to get a little out of hand.
A little?
Well, a lot out of hand. Yeah. We had one where the people wanted.
It's gone so far.
And I think some buyers and buyers agents maybe guide their buyers to say, let's offer, say, $400 on this home. And then you
mean $400,000?
$400,000 on this home. And then we'll get the repair request. And then we'll ask, since there's a lot on it, we'll ask for like a $20,000 price reduction.
Well, not $20,000 price reduction, just $20,000 in lieu of what they are,
seeing
quote
a lot
unquote,
of,
have to repair.
People say, we want to either reduce the price or give us a credit.
Right.
So I think some people say, well, what they offer on the property, they're probably hoping maybe they can get it for a little less later on.
Yeah.
Which is probably not good because it tends to aggravate the sellers, and sellers don't always agree, and you've wasted some time on, trying to secure a property for less than what you probably should be paying for it.
When I think that that's honestly, that's the tactic out there right now. It's like one of those ways of, hey, well, let's go in because we really think the house is worth 380. They're on the market for 400. Let's give them an at-list offer. So then that way we get into escrow. Sellers are happy. Seller starts planning on moving.
Yeah.
They get the ball rolling in the direction of where they want to go. Repair request comes in from an asinine inspection. Sorry, I do not think the inspectors are worth their grain. And we won't go there. But anyways, they get this repair inspection request, and then all of a sudden they think they are at a much better point of negotiation than they were in the very beginning. And I think that's kind of a crappy way to do it.
Yeah, because they're really playing on the emotions of the seller.
Correct.
I'm locked in. I've got a house down in San Diego I'm going to buy. I'm ready to rock and roll here. If we tell them we want to reduce the price, they'll say yes because they want to move on.
Yeah.
And you're a bulldog when it comes to negotiation, at least for homes and stuff. Not for when you get a car, but that's a whole other podcast.
It's true. He's telling the truth.
And you and I agree that we tend to instruct our guide our sellers to say, just tell them no.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them no.
Mm-hmm.
Your request is totally ludicrous. Come back with something reasonable, and maybe we'll talk. But at this point, the house is as is.
Correct.
And that's just part of the
if there's
negotiation.
legitimate things, I know I badmouth a home inspector, and for the most
you
part,
shouldn't have done that. That was bad, Jenny.
I'm still going to.
Okay.
Here I go.
Whoa.
Hey, it's called Thoughts for Rent. Realtors keeping it real, and I'm keeping it real.
Amen.
So
Amen, sister.
Home inspectors have this clause after they put something into their inspection.
Yeah.
They'll say, I see a roof tile that looks a little loose.
Recommend evaluation by a licensed professional. Is that what you're going for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or they'll go to an electric socket and they'll say, it worked now, but it seems like it might not work later. Get it professional.
Evaluated by a professional. Yeah.
There you go. I hate that.
Oh, yeah.
It's really gone from the point of a true home inspection of what's really wrong with this house.
Now we're up to what could be wrong, what could happen, what might happen in the future. Yeah.
And basically be prepared for this in 5 years. And I want to cover my butt and not get sued, so I'm going to say everything.
I got to go for you.
Okay.
We had an inspection come in. The AC, it's 111 in Las Vegas. Okay, and the AC was running at like 78. And the people had set it for 74, but it just couldn't get down because it was just too hot out there. If you know anything about HVACs, you can only come down a certain amount. So anyway, he put in his report that the HVAC is running poorly, needs to be replaced or repaired. And then he said in the bedroom, there's a standalone mobile
AC unit.
Air conditioner, which clearly shows there is some deficiency with the HVAC central air unit.
Which is him assuming something that he should not assume.
Horrible. And my people, they needed that extra air there because there was some respiratory issues. And how rude is that when you're reading that report?
I agree.
I have an issue. I have a mobile unit here for my respiratory issues, but this guy's saying I only have it here because I know my AC is not functioning properly. It's so aggravating.
And let me defend all of the women that are going through menopause right now, i.e. I am one of them. We need air on us when we go to bed.
Yeah, sure.
And you don't want to make the whole house 72 degrees just because you run hot at certain times in the night.
Yeah.
So being able to have this little portable AC or a fan, that's what women need at a certain time in their life. For him to say that on his professional home inspection report was absolutely ludicrous.
And I don't want to make this all about inspectors, but it's certainly a portion of the transaction that we find we're having to deal with every time. And every transaction is different. Every inspector is different. They're all kind of the same, but they're different. And every buyer is different.
Let me tell the story that just
a buyer might get an inspection report with 18 things wrong, and they might go, that's fine, we'll fix it later. It just depends. But you'd like it to be a little less strenuous.
Well, I agree. And I think that it's doing a bit of a disservice in today's real estate market. I had an owner. He owns 6 properties with us right now. We manage all 6. He trusts us. He knows we're good at what we're doing. He's in escrow right now. And sure enough, he got the repair addendum, and the repair addendum literally is like,
Wait, he's the buyer or seller?
he's the buyer.
Okay.
He
Well,
got
he made the repair addendum then.
well, his agent took
He got the inspection report.
He got the inspection report, made the repair addendum, but he sent me the repair addendum, and he starts freaking out, and he starts saying, I don't want to buy the property because, oh my gosh, the inspector came in and said this was wrong, this was wrong, this was wrong. And the words out of his mouth were this: I don't think the seller took care of the property. If there's these many things wrong with the property, they must have neglected it.
Okay. Yeah.
No, it's not. Half of what that repair request is cosmetic.
Cracks in tiles.
A crack in a tile, a grout that needs to be put back into the shower area, caulking around.
A window hard to close and open.
You're exactly right. That was one of them as well.
Kill me.
So I advised him, because remember, he's being represented by his own buyer's agent. I'm going to be his property manager. So two separate things. I could be very honest. I wasn't part of that transaction. I said, you know what? I'm looking at this house. I'm looking at what it can get you in rent. I'm looking at what is on your inspection report. And if it was me, I would not be nervous about this at all. I've already supplied to him what an estimate would be from a handyman. I said, if you can live with that amount, take that amount to the seller. If the seller wants to negotiate a little bit off of it, decide what your bottom line is. But I would not lose the house based upon this home inspection report.
And that happens.
It's the way right now.
Buyers will get an inspection report, and they will, not unlike my buyer who had to use the restroom, they will crap their pants when they see this inspection report. And then they get nervous, right? And then they get, I don't know. It's called buyer's remorse. Sometimes it kicks in the day after you make an offer. Sometimes it kicks in when you get the inspection report.
Can I also say, from a buyer's agent standpoint, though, yes, I would love a buyer's agent to look at somebody and say, okay, look, your inspection report is this. It seems like there's a lot of stuff on it that's just not important.
Okay. Yeah.
But to a buyer's agent, that's really tough to do. And the reason why is because everybody sues everybody.
Yeah, you might say that. And then 6 months later, after they buy the house, the one thing that was in the report that says could be a problem is a problem. And they come, you told me this wouldn't be a problem.
There you go. So
yeah,
I would love a buyer's agent to step up and give better direction. But I understand why they're not doing that.
Yeah.
And so then that is what's causing what we've got right now and today in the real estate market.
Yes. Someone screwed up somewhere, so everybody's starting to pay the price.
Yep.
Not starting to. They've been doing that for a long time. But I think it's important to know that your inspection report, your repair request, those two things, they take about 2 or 3 months out of a realtor's life during a transaction. They drive
Max
agents
had
nuts.
9 lives until he got into real estate. And now it's down.
Close. So yeah, and then the appraisal process has to happen. That can be, time consuming. I mean, obviously, what we try to do on the McKenna team is prepare our clients for every scenario so that when it comes, it's not a surprise. So up front, we try to explain all the things that could go wrong, that might go wrong, that during a due diligence period, say it's 10 days, 12 days, for any reason whatsoever, the buyer can cancel the transaction and get their earnest money back.
If Aunt Sally said, don't buy that house, they could
Sally,
do that.
I had a voodoo witch go buy the property and sit in front. I had someone read some tarot cards in the living room, and we had a bad smell, this, that, the other thing. We drove by at night, and there were too many cars parked.
Okay, I gotcha. For any reason.
Yeah, and as a seller, you cannot, you have no answer to that. You sign the cancellation addendum.
Gotcha.
This is getting louder or something. Did yours get louder?
No, you got softer.
I got softer.
Yeah.
So those are just some of the things that you might encounter. Every buyer, seller. I'm kind of going in and out here. So
yeah, I'm wondering if you're still on.
Yeah, I'm on.
You could use my microphone if you want.
Well, hopefully it closed out strong. We're about wrapping up anyway. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Hi, it's like you're interviewing me. So yeah, that's some of the ins and outs of a real estate transaction, some of the things that we look for. There's about, for every story Jen and I told you about people pooping in their backyard and that kind of stuff, there's 100 more. We could spend hours on just talking about some of the fun things we've encountered on real estate transactions. So that's us. Why don't you take us out, Jenny?
So you've been listening to Thoughts for Rent Realtors Keeping It Real with Max Zerflu and Jenni McKenna. If you think somebody would be entertained with this particular podcast, please share it and subscribe so that you can hear our podcast when we drop it once a week. And we talk about lots of things: property management, life in general, realtor issues, real estate, you name it. We'll talk about it. If there's something you want to talk about, just let us know.
And if you know of anybody looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, give us a call. Oh, there you go. Sound good? Okay, good. I'll pass over to Ireland. Here you go, Ken.
Thanks, Pops.